A strong start to the Rugby Championship for the All Blacks in a dominant performance over Los Pumas in Argentina. Los Pumas threw everything and the kitchen sink at the All Blacks. It wasn't a polished performance by the All Blacks. They definitely struggled at times, but they absorbed that pressure and they turned it on when they needed to and got the job done. Before we get into it, let me know in the comments who played well, who didn't, who was your man of the match. What did you like about the All Blacks performance? What didn't you like? And then what did you like about Los Pumas performance and what didn't you like? Let me know in the comments. Hit that subscribe if you haven't already. Let's get into it. What's up, guys? Dane here from Kick On Rugby. What an opening round of Rugby Championship. Yes, Springboks lost. Then it was on to the All Blacks versus Los Pumas in Argentina. And the rugby gods, I was like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen here? Because of what happened in that first game, what's going to happen in this one? But All Blacks got the job done. There was a shaky time in that second half where the Argentina had a lot of the momentum, were playing really well, and I thought they could fight their way back into it, but credit to All Blacks because they absorbed that pressure and then turned it on when they needed to. So we'll stay on Argentina first. Firstly, to the fans, absolutely, they were humming. The whole game, there was a constant buzz. Love that from the Argentinian fans. Early on, I thought they really made it hard for themselves with their rucks, isolated rucks getting dominated by the All Blacks. Their line speed wasn't the best, kind of allowing All Blacks to run their moves and then finding a lot of space out wide. I think they could have been a bit better connected, coming up, shifting out, or coming up and making those tackles there. I did feel like they definitely grew into the game in that regard because when they were connected on defense, they were making some big, strong tackles and they were very, very physical, like we know Argentina can be. But I think they got found out a lot early on with that. So it was kind of all Blacks to start the game and not much possession or territory from Argentina. But when they did get the ball, love to see Albinos kind of changing tactics where All Blacks were rushing up massive line speed in their faces. He changed it up a bit, little chip over the top. They regathered the ball, patience off that, forward, strong, physical, getting over that advantage line, giving Garcia, the 9, a ton of options to play there, sucked All Blacks defense in and then chucked it over the top, over out wide to Iskro to go over. Love that little change up in attacking tactics from Albinos and then that paying off as well. Yellow to Vivas did not help. That cynical slap down of Cortez Ratama's ball didn't help them because All Blacks definitely turned it on in that time. We'll say they were very, very physical throughout the game. We know Argentina always bring the physicality, but definitely got found out in the first half. In the back end of that first half, when they were a man down, they really struggled to keep up because that's when All Blacks really turned it on. Go into the break, 31-10, and I'm like, Argentina have to be the first to score here, and they did. They come out firing in that second half. They work their way down the field, get an opportunity from a scrum, run a play. I don't think it went to plan, but Albinos somehow bumps out of a tackle of Geordie Barrett, shrugs off Finlay Christie and goes over under the post untouched. And then I'm like, okay, now we can see a little bit of change of momentum. They go again. Bang, bang. Oviedo, I think that's how you say it, the 8th man, he scores after their next opportunity that they get. And then now, it's now 24-31. You're a try within. And this is where tides change and All Blacks just put them to the sword. And that is massive credit to All Blacks because they absorbed that pressure, especially in that second half or in the opening stance of that second half, and put it to Argentina when they did. But a valiant effort from the Argentinians. I thought Pablo Matera was immense. He always is. When he comes up against these big teams, he just gets through so much work. It's like having an extra player on the field when Matera's playing. He's outstanding. Albinos was good too. Chocobaras was good too, giving them that front foot ball or first phase. A few things, I think they need to clean up their rucks. You want to be more clinical at ruck time. Don't leave isolated rucks against teams or the top teams in the world because they're going to turn you over. They're going to attack those rucks. You want to neaten that up. Jumping over to the All Blacks, like I said, massive effort, come out firing early on, and then there was a bit of a dull patch where they kind of lost their way a bit. Few subs were made, or just the momentum of the game. They weren't getting any calls, but that's also credit to Argentina because they put them under a ton of pressure, forced and unforced penalties. But All Blacks rode that wave, come out back end of the game and just put them to the sword. Fantastic result early, or your first round of the Rugby Championship, away from home versus Argentina, in Argentina. Like, it's a tough ask, but they go out there and they get the job done. So early on, I thought their line speed was immense on defense, coming up all together, connected, making big ball and all tackles. There's a few times where they did get penalized. I think Rico Ioane got penalized once for making a tackle on a player who didn't have the ball or was kind of touch and go. But it just showed their intent. They want to get up in their faces and shut that Argentinian backline down. They also applied a ton of pressure at isolated rucks, or just rucks that were out wide away from the Argentinian forwards. I think this was a tactic of the All Blacks, is finding those rucks out wide and sending in a heap of numbers, or just being clinical and more effective at ruck time. And this is what's, for me, led to Sevu Reece's first try, is Argentina had the ball, right? It shifted out to the wing. All Blacks attacked the ruck. They got a penalty from that. From there, Beauden Barrett kicks it out to touch. They go down for a maul try, or they go down for a maul. Maul doesn't end up working. They have a few phases from there, suck that Argentinian defense in, and then throw it out wide when the space is on, or when Sevu Reece was open out wide and he went over to score. Firstly, it all started from the All Blacks attacking those isolated rucks of Argentina, working really hard at ruck time, getting the penalty there, going for touch, so backing themselves, setting the maul. The maul didn't work, but then being patient with it, not just throwing the ball out before it was needed, being patient, sucking that Argentinian defense in, and then throwing it out the back when it was on, and Sevu Reece going over to score. And that's, Razor said he wants to pick bigger, stronger guys that can be effective at contact areas, and that's the first sign of that. Getting a turnover ball, getting a penalty there, and then going on from there to score. Fantastic. I did say it in the preview, game breakers in this game was from the All Blacks was Will Jordan, and man, did he break that game open to set up Ratima's try. Gets the ball, lovely right foot whack, just boom, straightens the line, and he's gone. After that step, those first 2-3 meters, he's gone. You're not stopping them there. Breaks through, and the ever-present 9 support line back on the inside. Ratima gets it and goes over untouched. All Blacks definitely needed that at this point of the game. I thought the momentum was kind of with the Argentinians around that point of the game, but you get your big players in big moments of the game to do stuff like that, outstanding. And then they just, to finish the round off that halftime, just muscling up. Do what they do well, being physical, being clinical as well. So when they've got opportunities down in Argentina's 22, being patient, turning those opportunities into points, forcing penalties, kicking out to touch, getting lineouts. Because like I've said now for a while, with all the threats that they have at lineout time, All Blacks want lineouts. It's a massive attacking platform to attack from. It's also a massive maul threat. They ended up scoring 3 maul tries in this game, so their maul is absolutely humming. That just creates even more doubt in the defensive line, or in the defense's line out, because are you going to go up to try and steal the ball? If you miss it there, you're definitely not going to be able to defend the line out. Are you going to try do anything there, because they could settle a maul but then play out wide? And it was fantastic. Artie Salvia scored before halftime off a maul try, and then Sevu Reece rounded out the try scoring for the first half. All Blacks just getting down the right end of the field, applying a ton of pressure, but being clinical. Because there's always in games, teams create or put themselves in positions to score tries or to score points and don't. Either lose the ball, get the ball turned over, or miss the kick, or whatever it is. But All Blacks, I think, were very clinical, especially in that first half, getting down to the right end of the field, getting into try scoring opportunities and converting that into the points. And they were outstanding in that first half. 31-10, they go into halftime and then come out in the second half and you're like, what was said at halftime? Or is there different players coming out? The same names, but different players, because all that intensity, all that effort, all that physicality, all of that was so prevalent in that first half just fully lacked in the second half, or especially in the first 20 to 25 minutes in the second half, because it was just all Argentina. Argentina were getting all the penalties, and that's credit to Argentina because they were, whether All Blacks, it was forced or unforced, Argentina were applying a ton of pressure onto them and converting their opportunities into points. Also off the back of Billy Proctor getting a yellow card, and it just looked like the intensity just lacked intensity, a bit lazy, out-enthused by the Argentinians in that first half of the second half. But like I said, to open this video, they just absorbed that pressure. And when it came down to it, they got back to what they know, got down the right areas of the field, set the line out up. All Blacks want line outs, set them all up, bang, Tokiaho scores. Get down there again, line out again, set them all up, bang, Tokiaho scores again. It was all Argentina in that first half of the second half, and All Blacks rode that wave, turned it around and turned it on to Argentina. It's a sign of a very classy outfit to be able to absorb that pressure, ride the waves, ride the momentum waves of the game. And when you find that little bit of change of momentum or opportunity, whatever it is, you jump on that and you run with it. And they were fantastic in that regard. I thought Jordie Barrett was immense in this game. Yes, missed one or two tackles, but took a ton of hit-ups, made some big tackles as well, was screaming out of the line, making ball and all hits. His boot is so important for the All Blacks as well. If Beauden Barrett's not there, he can just slot in, take those big kicks, exits really well, and he was my man of the match for the All Blacks in this game. Your guys up front were good too. Ari Savea, Karifi was outstanding. Tupolvai got through a ton of work, and I thought Scott Barrett was really good, as well as Fabian Holland, just manning, bossing those lineouts. And like I've said now for the longest time, All Blacks want lineouts. They've got massive threats at lineout time. They base so much of their attack around lineouts, and it showed in this game. Now that they've got a strong maul as well, don't let All Blacks get lineouts, man, because they're either going to maul you or they're going to attack from it and probably end up scoring. Fantastic, big results for the All Blacks for the first round of the Rugby Championship. They are on top at the moment. They go top of the world rankings as well. With Springboks lost to Australia, Springboks jumped down to 3. So it's All Blacks, Ireland, and then South Africa. Huge, man. How good this... It's almost a fantastic start to the Rugby Championship. Yes, I'm a Springbok fan, but I'm firstly and will always be first a rugby fan. I love seeing what I saw this weekend in the Rugby Championship. What did you guys think of it? Let me know in the comments. Hit that subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Bye.